Talk to me for a moment about what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, your position on that.
I'm going to go to the bigger metaphysical question, which is, why do people hurt one another? Why do governments try and take over other parts of the world? This is such an ancient dynamic in our human history. It is always so painful. One side is trying to gain something at the cost of the other. And the teaching that I follow, the Course in Miracles, tells us about what our dual nature is. On the one hand, we are love. And in fact, that's the only thing that really exists. But on the other hand, we have a very compelling belief that we're not love. We're not connected to God. We are not good enough. What we have is not enough. We need more. We have to take what we need from other people. People can't be trusted. And we are seeing any conflict like this is playing out at an international level. That same idea of scarcity and taking what one needs because one cannot have it any other way. In the Course in Miracles, it's called the ego thought system, and it's reflected nationally, internationally, in communities, in individual people. There's always another way. There's always another way. But we have to make a choice as people, as individuals, as a group. And in this case, we know what the choice is for Russia and the Ukraine, that one is trying to take from the other or trying to make something happen with the other, and just causes an enormous degree of trauma.
That is so unfortunate and sad, isn't it, at that level of existence, where we find ourselves in the human body and then kind of making choices, in this sense, trying to find that place within the mind that it's forgiving, that is accepting, that is understanding of what's happening, because it's at a different level. It seems like we cannot rationalize this violence. I can't rationalize violence.
Absolutely. Well, maybe the number one thing for anybody that's struggling in this way, because it is so painful. I mean, the whole pandemic, I don't think a coincidence that 2 years into this situation at an international scale, we have a major war in Europe. So for anybody that's struggling, the first step is to be with the pain and to acknowledge that distress at any level, whether you've chosen a side, whether you're just feeling distraught because of the conflict and the lives and the disruption that people are having to escape. I mean, it's very, very, very all-encompassing. And often what I find for myself and when I work with people is that as you process, talk about, share with others the pain or the anger or the fear or whatever it is, the sadness, that then the stillness or the quiet or the alternative possibility, even in how to feel in the moment, can come in. And that's the first step, how painful it is. It is incredibly painful.
And A Course in Miracles, who is God? What is the idea of God?
So this is really a very different way of looking at God than, say, a Christian tradition or an Islamic tradition or Jewish tradition. In the Course in Miracles, God is a state. God is an experience. In fact, the end of the book is the words, God is, and we cease to speak. Because the experience of God, there is no contrast with it. There is no other. It's one experience of just pure love, joy, peace, infinite, never-ending, connected. As Gary Renard would say, but everybody's there with you. Your dog's there, your grandmother's there, your best friend is there. So it's something I think one has to grow into. I cannot say that I know what this experience is. In fact, in the Course community, people often jokingly say, well, clearly I don't know what God is, or I wouldn't be here. I can't really say what this experience is of God, but what I understand it to be is an expansion of moments that probably most of us have, and that I have had many times, of being really joyful or peaceful or hopeful, feeling gratitude, being loving, feeling loved, to just kind of collapse those in all together and expand and expand and expand that feeling. And that is what I imagine the state of oneness with God is. Very positive, very all-encompassing, and everyone is there with us. Everyone we've ever loved, would love, could love, is there with us in love. Love is, or God is non-dual. In reality, there is no other. But of course, we experience other in every way imaginable. And the forgiveness journey, what forgiveness means in this tradition is that we let go of all of the grievances. We let go of seeing separate interests. That's another kind of way of thinking about it. That we're here to express and be love. But of course, we experience ourselves with others maybe being more loving or less loving. They're nice to us. They're not nice to us. We're nice to them. We're not nice to them. That's part of the human experience. And it can be transcended. If it's of interest, it can be transcended.